So now that we've broken down the Mani invasion, we're now able to go into other tribes as well too that migrated from other regions. The Susu and Yalunka are traders who originally migrated from Guinea to Sierra Leone. Both groups are primarily found in the far north in Cambia and Koinadugu district, close to the border with Guinea. The Susu and Yalunka kingdom was established in the early 5th to 7th century before the Mali Empire, which was extended from Mali, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and the northern part of Sierra Leone. They are among the original inhabitants of the Fouta Djallon region in Guinea. The Susu and Yalunka are descendants of the greater Mande people, and today they are virtually all Muslim. The Yalunka, also spelled as Jalonke, are Mande people who have lived in the Djallon mountainous regions in Sierra Leone, Mali, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, and Guinea-Conakry, West Africa, over 520 years ago. The name Yalunka literally means inhabitants of Djallon. Most of those who settled in Sierra Leone were pushed out by the Fula. The Susu are descendants of their Manding ancestors who lived in the mountainous Mali-Guinea border. They are said to have originally been a section of the Sonaninke people that migrated out of Ouagadougou and were initially a clan of blacksmiths who displayed their clear intentions to object converting to Islam. In the 12th century, when the kingdom of Ouagadougou was in decline, they migrated south and established the capital city of Susu and the mountainous region of Kolikoro. In Kolikoro, the Yalunka sub-tribe of the Susu would form during the tyrannical reign of Susumaru Kante. After Sanjata Keita defeated Kante, the Susus were ruled by the 13th century Mali Empire. In the 15th century, they migrated west to the Fouta Djallon plateau of Guinea as the Mali Empire disintegrated, but may have had earlier migrations as well. The Kono people are descendants of Mali-Guinean migrants who are said to have moved to Sierra Leone and settled in what is now the Kono district in the mid-16th century. Kono history claims that Kono were once a powerful people in Mali and Guinea. The Kono migrated to Sierra Leone as peaceful hunters. The tribe was split during the partitioning of Africa by European colonists, and part of the tribe still exists in the neighboring Guinea. Kono comes from the Mande word Makono, which means wait until we come back. So the Kono are actually just Mandinka people who were cut off from the others after Sierra Leone became separate from Guinea. Attacks from the related Mende people forced the Kono to seek refuge in the Karonko territory to the north, where they were allowed to farm the land. The Mende eventually moved further south, and the Kono returned to their land in the east. The Kono today practice Christianity, Islam, and traditional religion. They are primarily miners and farmers, and they make up 5.2% of the country's total population. Their homeland is the Kono district in eastern Sierra Leone. The Gisi are the fourth largest ethnic group in Guinea, making up 6.2% of the population. Gisi people are found in Liberia and Sierra Leone. The Gisi tradition considers that before the 17th century they inhabited the upper Niger region. Supposedly, they lived south of the Fouta Djallon until the Yalunka expelled them. After 1600, they migrated westward, expelling the Limbas in their march, but were under constant threat from the Karonkos. This threat is likely what caused their migration into Sierra Leone. The Gisi are well known for making baskets and weaving on vertical looms. In past times, they were also famous for their iron-working skills, as the country and its neighbors possessed rich deposits of iron. Kisi smiths produced the famous Kisi penny, which was a form of currency in the Mande-speaking world in the form of iron. The Karonko people occupy a large section in the mountainous regions of northeastern Sierra Leone and southern Guinea. Karonkos speak a language similar to the Manding languages, and their language can be understood by their neighbors and close allies, the Mandinka and the Susu. The Karonko moved into Sierra Leone from Mali after some leadership struggles in the empire. It is highly likely that the Karonko were originally a subgroup of the Mandingo, and like the Mani, they may have decided to leave Mali altogether due to the weak leadership of Mansa Mahmud during the declining status of the empire. But during the height of Mali, the Karonkos were originally a part of the military power of the country. Due to the vastness of the empire and their role in the military, they were deployed across East to West Africa. One of the most prominent military groups was led by a warrior named Mansa Kama, who lived approximately between 1650 and 1720. He was in charge of securing the West African trade route to the ports in present-day Freetown. Mansa Kama founded Kamadugu, now contained within the Sengbe chiefdom of Koinadugu district, as well as Khalifa, which is still a chiefdom to this day, and extended his rule across Sierra Leone, Foredugu, to the port in Koya. Mansa Kama eventually settled in Roala, which became the center of the new Karanko country, where he remained a leader until his death. The Karanko are primarily traders, farmers, and hunters, and followers of the Islamic faith today. The Mandingo people of Sierra Leone are direct descendants of people from Guinea and Mali who were traders, warriors, princes, Muslim clerics, and refugees who settled Sierra Leone between the 1870s and early 1900s. The main two reasons for their migration into the country was usually escaping French colonialism and enslavement back in Mali or Guinea, or the second reason would be fleeing or being subjugated by the jihads led by Samori Touré, a ruler of the Wasulu Empire. After Wasulu fell to the French in 1898, many of its subjects settled in Guinea and Sierra Leone. The Kenadugu Empire, ruled by the Traoré, also known as Tarawali, would also fall to the French in the same year after they defeated Babemba Traoré in battle. This would lead to some of their subjects also settling in Guinea and Sierra Leone in an attempt to evade French colonialism. In fact, the Koinadugu district of Sierra Leone was likely named by the Mandinka descendants of Kenadugu. Today, the Mandingo are predominantly traders and farmers. They constitute about 7% of Sierra Leone's population. The Mandingo are over 99% Muslim adherents to the Sunni tradition of Islam. The population is largely concentrated in Koinadugu district in the north, particularly in the towns of Kabala and Falaba, where they form the majority of the population. The Mandingo make up a majority of the population in Yangema, Kono district in eastern Sierra Leone, and they also make up a majority of the population in the town of Karina and Bambali district in the north of Sierra Leone. The Fula people are descendants of 17th and 18th century Fulani migrant settlers from the Fouta Djallon regions of Guinea, Mali, Senegal, and Mauritania. The Sierra Leone Fula people settled in the western area of Sierra Leone more than 60 years ago as settlers from mainly the Fouta Djallon region expanded to the northern part of Sierra Leone, primarily Kabala and Bambali. The Sierra Leonean Fula are traditionally a nomadic pastoralist trading people, herding cattle, goats, and sheep across the vast dry hinterlands of their domain, keeping somewhat separate from the local agricultural populations. Many of the large shopping centers in Sierra Leone are owned and run by the Fula community. A significant number of the Sierra Leone Fula population are found in all regions of Sierra Leone as traders, and many live in middle-class homes. Because of their trading, the Fulas are found in nearly all parts of the country. The Kru, Vai, and Gola are tribes that inhabit Sierra Leone today, but originally come from Liberia and Cote d'Ivoire. They migrated and settled along various points of West African coast, notably Freetown, Sierra Leone, but also the Ivorian and Nigerian coast. The Kru are a large ethnic group that is made up of several sub-ethnic groups, including the Bassa, who also inhabit Sierra Leone to a small percentage. During the Atlantic slave trade, Kru people were considered more valuable as traders and sailors on slave ships than as slave labor. To ensure their status as free men, they initiated the practice of tattooing their foreheads and the bridge of their nose with indigo dye to distinguish them from slave labor. Their maritime expertise evolved along the west coast of Africa, where they made a living as fishermen and traders. Knowing the inshore waters of the western coast of Sierra Leone in Africa and having nautical experience, they were employed as sailors, navigators, and interpreters aboard slave ships, as well as American and British warships used against the slave trade. The Sierra Leonean Vai are predominantly found in Pujaun district, around the Liberian border. Many Sierra Leonean villages that border Liberia are populated by the Vai. In total, only about 1,200 Vai live in Sierra Leone. They were referred to as the Galena people by the Portuguese and began migrating southwest, crossing Sierra Leone borders in search of salt and cola. The Gola people are a sub-tribe of the Koya clan from Liberia. During the Mani invasion, it is highly likely that the Koya who went north and conquered the Baga would become the Timni, and the Koya who remained in the southern region of Sierra Leone by the Liberian border would become the Gola. So the Gola are a combination of the Mani from the Mandinka clan, the Koya clan from Liberia, and the indigenous Bolom people. This makes them closely related to the Timni, the Baga, Shebro, Mende, and Kisi tribes as well. The Gola people are also called the Gullah, and during the transatlantic slave trade, many slaves were captured from the Gola tribe as well as Mende and sent to the Sea Islands of South Carolina to work on rice plantations due to their specialty in this field. The Gola and Gisi people of Sierra Leone and the Bantu people from Angola are said to be the origin of the name Gullah Geechee in South Carolina. Though most scholars would agree that the word Gullah in reference to the Gullah Geechee people of South Carolina is derived from the Gola people of Sierra Leone and the Bantu-speaking people of Angola, some scholars would say that the word Geechee is derived from the Ogeechee River in South Carolina and Georgia, or some would say that it comes from the Kisi people or the Gisi people of Liberia and Guinea. And last but